So for activity 8M, we're going to open the gradebook CSV file and we're going to format it to look like this one. I have already done with the formatting. So as you can see here, I have formatted the first row and I merged from B to G so to make it exactly look in two lines like this one, and then I added the wrap text. And then after all, for line 1 from A till H, I made it with the yellow background and enlarged the font and made it bold. After that, I made this into bold and this one as well bold. And let's go for the next point right now. As you can see here, A is not mentioned, so I didn't add anything in A here. Right now, let's add the functions into these areas. It's already mentioned from C3 till H6. So it means all over here, this area, we need to add the functions, which is for the average grades for each subject and each class. As you can see here, that we have grades. We need to find the average grades for each subject. You can see English, for maths, and so on. And then for each class of them. So the good thing that they're already mentioned with the subject and the classes. So that's going to be quite easy. Let's go ahead and start to add it. Let's start with the first one. So we're going to start with the average. We're going to use average if, because we're having currently only one option, which is to find out according to the class. And we don't need to find out the function of or another criteria of subject. So that's going to make it a bit easier. Let me enlarge it. So I'm going to use average if. And then the first thing, we're going to use the range. The range, I'm going to select it first of all from the class, which is going to be from here, B9 till B41. After that, we're going to take the criteria. So I already selected the range. So definitely my criteria is going to be alpha, comma. Right now, where is the average? Average needs to be selected from where? For those calculating numbers. Definitely from English class, because this is English row, column. Definitely I need to highlight it over the English column. That's all. And then I'm going to get the one thing also mentioned over here, that we need to round it to the whole number. So whole number is going to be to 0. Okay, right now the thing that you need to be careful about it, when we're going to replicate, we need to replicate both into the lower part, I mean to the rows, and we need to replicate the columns as well. So here we need to be very careful about the absolute values. When you're going to put the absolute, whenever we apply F4, for example, I'm going to apply F4 over here. As you can see, the $sign is added to both the row, in front of the row, and in front of the column, or opposite, sorry. This is in front of the column, and this is in front of the row. But if I remove the $sign from one place, that right now what it means that the absolute value, it's going to be fixed for the column. So B is going to be fixed, but the rows are going to be replicating and increasing, 10, 11, and so on. So this is what it means. So right now, in order to replicate the values, if I'm going to replicate it in the lower way, then I need this value. This, I need it to be replicated for both. I need it to be replicated for the B and for the 9 as well. Sorry, what I mean, I want it to be opposite. I want it to be fixed, not replicated. Whenever I'm replicating it, I need this column or this place need to be always fixed, because it is the class that I'm going to refer to it all the time. So the first thing to do, apply the absolute value for the whole range over here. The next one is right now is my criteria. Criteria, what it needs to happen when I'm going to replicate, it needs to move into numbers. So that means it needs to go to beta, to gamma, and so on. But the column, I don't want it to be increasing. So that means B needs to be fixed. So go and apply you can just apply the F4, or you can simply put shift and $sign over here, or shift and number 4, which is the $sign. So this is going to make the B fixed but the row will keep increasing to go to beta and gamma and so on, referring to the column. The next one, the final one, is over here. That's referring to the English, right? So English needs to keep moving into the column. So for this C, it needs to be in English. When I replicate it to D, it needs to refer to math, then to science, then to history, and so on. Okay? So in this case, I'm going to fix only the column. Sorry, I'm going to fix only the row. Row needs to be fixed, but the columns needs to be moving. So in this case, I have to remove the $sign from the column, because column needs to be replicating while the rows needs to be fixed. That's it. Right now we're free to replicate. And then, okay, let me show you right now what happened here. Can you see? It's moving to beta, but column haven't been moved for English. Okay, and let's highlight over all this and replicate it to the next columns. Let's choose one of them. As you can see here, it moved to beta, but the column moved, from English, it moved to the different columns, as you can see here. So that's for this activity. Let me see the rest of the question. And then set the print area to show from only B1 till H6. So that's B1. B1 till H6. That's only this area. Okay, and then just select it and go to print and click over print selection, and you can print it out. And don't forget to save it at the end with the activity 8M.